Hello, everyone. So, welcome to another episode for Doors Within Emerging Markets, time for emerging markets. And today, I want to share with you guys a book that um, um, has been, something that I actually came across last 2 years ago, actually last year, 2020, when the author of this book, as you see on the screen, um, if some of you guys are watching this on YouTube on the screen, it's Risk and Return by Yomi Jemibewon. Um, a great book that actually encompasses a lot of what I've been thinking about with my prospect of also writing a book about how an African in diaspora is trying to find his way to go back home. For Yomi, in this case, it's Nigeria, and he's trying to navigate his fears and anxieties of going back home and starting a company, um, you know, and trying to bring a young family along on this journey from the United States back to Nigeria. And I think this is a very interesting book because um, um, since I'll be getting to the actual read of the book this month, March of 2021. But I think this is a book where it's very significant for most of the Africans in diaspora who are really eager to go home, but they don't know where to start, right? And I think risk versus return encompasses a lot of what most Africans in diaspora are trying to figure out. Um, so I think this is a book that I think is I'm so excited to get down into it and really learn from him, and as I also hope to share my perspective of how we can uncover wealth in Africa through the book that I began to start writing the beginning of this year. I hope that I can really learn from someone who actually took that leap of faith and went back home. And that's something that I think some of us are all striving for. So Yumi actually started a company called Cardinal Stone Capital Advisors. And it's such a very, one of the kind of the great examples of companies that are really doing some amazing work in Nigeria. It's a private equity company, and I think they also do venture capital as well. But it's so interesting, when he went to Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania, where he did his MBA in finance and entrepreneurial management, and he later on consulted at Bain and Company, and he shared a really interesting story. And I was in attendance at the Harvard Business School Africa Conference of 2020, right before the pandemic, of just how it was really hard for him to really get navigate this path, this scary path of just packing his stuff, convincing his dead fiance and now wife to take the family back to Nigeria. And I think this story, especially for African diaspora, really, I think it will really resonate with them. And hopefully, I myself, I hope to really learn a lot from the book as well. So I'm excited to dive deep into it. We have this reading community that is part of Germany and also intersected with this, integrated as well with this, the podcast towards the emerging markets, that we read a book every month. Last month, we read Prosperity Paradox by Professor Krista Senin, Efusa Jomo, and Kerry Dillon. And this month, we're reading the book Risk and Return with Yomi Jemibewon of Cardinal Stone. And just to read the introduction of the book, and I hope you guys will enjoy it, of this book, Risk and Return. He said, 11 years ago, despite my fears and insecurities, so this is the book, Risk and Return by Yomi. Just an introduction, I think that will really perhaps make you guys excited about this book, and I'll read it pretty quickly here. So, he said, 11 years ago, despite my fears and insecurities, I made a decision to return to Nigeria after living in the United States for 13 years. I took the plunge, moved back home, and began a life and entrepreneurial adventure that brought tribulations, triumphs, and a lot of life lessons. Through this journey, there were many times where I wished I could have picked up the book or two with information and anecdotes that would have prepared or strengthened me for several of the challenges I came to face. I could really have used the book on how others before me dealt with the anxieties and discomforts of repatriating, fitting back in, and figuring things out. A book on finding partners, raising capital, and building a new business in Africa on, on your own terms. A book on balancing the demands of a young family with those of a new business. A book about so many other challenges that are common to many. I didn't find one, so I decided to write it. This book is for repatriate entrepreneurs. At least this is what I told myself when I started writing it. I pictured people like me who are from developing countries but live or lived in the West for a good part of their adolescence or young adulthood. Many may toy with thoughts of returning home someday, yet no one has a clue about how or when to do it. Some may want to start a business in Africa or work in Africa, but think the hurdles to make it work are too numerous to overcome. Others may yearn to make a difference in their home country or continent, yet are rightfully fearful of what that may mean for their personal and professional futures. All require insights that could prepare them for taking the plunge into a new adventure and leave them encouraged that it's possible to go back home. These are people I thought I was writing for. I also thought people who already lived in Africa and were interested in being agents of change might think my journey was a worthwhile story. But as I started writing the book and reflecting on the things I had learned, I realized that my story is more than just a collection of lessons on how to make it in Africa. And this book is not just for repatriate entrepreneurs, immigrants of color living in the West, or people interested in doing business in a developing country. It is for anyone who isn't happy doing what they're doing, or happy with where or how their life is unfolding. It's for anyone considering another path, and debating whether to take a leap of faith. It's for anyone of any race, any gender, any age, any nationality, any profession, any educational level, and at any phase in their lives who has woken up one morning and said something needs to change. I really like that. So that's the introduction, and I think it's quite fascinating, and I'm excited about diving deep into the book this month and you can join us right here. I do post how to get into a Zoom reading rooms. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, or I will actually also share this on the podcast. If you're interested in that, you can actually join us as well. And we also have a pre-entrepreneurship school where we're developing workshops to help people develop their entrepreneurial mindset, as well as nurture them to have certain principles and disciplines that will help them live fulfilling lives, and as well as building a career that's worth investing in investing time in happily with some financial security. So just picture this as a school of life where we teach you things that you don't really learn in school, but it also teaches you to develop the entrepreneurial mindset, which is necessary. And I think all of this is interconnected to what we're trying to do at Germany as well. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. And I'm excited for this month. I wish everyone a good month of March 2021. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in into Doors Within Emerging Markets. Again, my name is Cheka Fortin, and see you next time.